More than 20 former footballers, as you know, have now made allegations that they were victims of abuse when they were children. Now, most people have enormous sympathy for the harrowing details which have been made public, but not this man, Eric Bristow, MBE, former darts world champion. Last night on Twitter, he allegedly called the victims of abuse wimps and implied it wouldn't have happened to a darts player as they're proper men.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Consequently, he's been fired this morning from his job on Sky Sports. And we were just saying this morning, is it this kind of language, this kind of attitude that has contributed to people, victims of abuse, particularly men in the sporting environment, which is very male kind of dominated and macho man.
Yeah.
Do you think that this kind of attitude, Janet, has contributed to people not coming forward? It's that very kind of thing, saying, well, you're a wimp, should have done something about it, mate.
In some ways, but I don't think we're looking at a scandal the size of the Jimmy Savile scandal. But obviously what has happened is shocking, and I don't want to detract from the misery felt by the victims and the fact that they felt they couldn't speak out about it for so long. And obviously the minute that one person spoke out, others drew strength from that and could come forward. But what I would say about Eric Bristow is, quite apart from the fact he's beneath contempt, I would like to see him hand his honour back, because I don't think he in any way deserves it. But I don't go through life thinking that people like Eric Bristow speak for the majority of people in this country. The majority of people in this country have come a long way in the last few years in embracing all kinds of sexuality, embracing people's behaviour. I mean, we are an open-minded society. We're not typical. He's not typical. I just don't
Well, let's hope not. I mean, I was looking through these tweets and he says, I might be a loony, but if some football coach was touching me when I was a kid, as I got older, I'd have gone back and sorted that out. Bet the rugby boys are OK, ha, ha, ha. Darts players, we're tough guys. Footballers, wimps.
Oh, but listen, Ruth, it is all shocking and it's disgusting, and I cringe as you're saying it. But most people who play darts and who play football are not like that. That is an attitude that might have prevailed in the 1950s. Yeah. It's like almost like hearing well, none of my relatives were like that, but it's the kind of thing pre-Alf Garnett, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I have to say that the tweets have been deleted. I say allegedly tweeted because, you know, some people do have their accounts hacked. Yes. But as we said, he has been sacked from his job as a pundit on Sky Sports
today. They think he did tweet.
We did get in touch with Eric Bristow's agent to see if he would talk to us, of comment. He hasn't released any statement, and they turned us down to talk to him today.
I don't think he should release anything. I think he should just stop the talking. It's,
yeah.
You know, when I heard those comments today, I was horrified, and I just thought these comments are 8 shades of stupid, 8 shades of inappropriate, and 8,000 shades of ignorant. You know, and like you, I think I was conflicted. Do we talk about this and highlight that kind of behavior? Because part of me is torn. I don't want to highlight or encourage that kind of language because I think it's so disgusting. Equally, I think you do have to acknowledge it and address it because it is so wrong and antiquated, and people should understand that behavior is unacceptable.
Well, we are always trying to teach boys, aren't we?
We are.
And you don't have to be a man
and hold things
cry,
in completely. And I think that's why it's really important that we do talk about it, so that for victims out there, we highlight that these sorts of comments are unacceptable. But I think I agree in part with what Janet's saying, but I do think that these sorts of views are more prevalent than we think. I think there are a lot of people who are probably going to be actually agreeing with what Eric has said.
Yeah, there will be a lot of people, June, but they won't be the majority. There's always going to be a very, very small number of people in this country who have unacceptable political views from the far right.
I agree with that.
Unacceptable views about sex. But in any society, you have to accept there'll always be a small percentage who are abhorrent to the majority.
But I think for the case of the victims, it's really important that we challenge comments like this so that they do feel able to come out, because that's why they don't.
Yeah, but if you thought that got heated, wait until you watch these and click here to subscribe. You may as well. It's totally free.